Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the Realme 5 Pro. I know I'm pretty late for the party. This phone has been launched for a few months I guess, or at least weeks, and sorry for that, but this is when I got the phone and I'm doing this video. Other videos will be posted pretty soon as well, so stay tuned for that. For anyone who don't know, this phone is available online exclusively on Flipkart and Realme's very own website. Base variant starts at 14,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 16GB of storage. Next variant is priced at 16,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. Final variant is priced at 17,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in two colors, blue and green, and we have the green color. So guys, without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. So guys, here's the box. Now this is the Realme 5 Pro, and honestly Realme is launching too many phones too soon to keep track of what's new in which phone. Anyway, this is the 5 Pro and they are bragging about the VOOC fast charging 3.0 and a 48 megapixel camera right on the face. So those seems to be the best things about this phone. Now we also get a quick preview of how the phone looks on the front. This is the front and this is the back. It looks pretty cool, but honestly couldn't set it apart from the previous phones. Anyway, on the left side it says Realme 5 Pro. On the right side it says the same thing. On the back it's completely plain with IMEI numbers and some specifications which we won't be needing. So without any further delays, let's just get on with the unboxing and we are done. So once we open up the box, we find another box. It says, "Hey, welcome to the Realme family," and at the bottom it says Realme once again. Now over here I'm pretty sure we are supposed to get a free case along with some documentation. We have Realme important information guide. This is probably for warranty, and this is a quick start guide. Next we have a soft silicone pouch with a tiny bit of tint to it. Next we have the phone itself. I'll come back to it in a second. By the way, it looks pretty cool. Next we have stickers. I guess it was removed from the phone. Next we have the VOOC charger, which is one of the highlighting features about this phone and one of the coolest techs when it comes to charging. Finally we have the USB Type-C charging cable, and that's it. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. Now let me just put everything aside and come back to the phone itself. So here's the phone. Let me just remove the sticker. By the way, we just have SIM card information and some of the warning information over here. And here we have it, Realme 5 Pro with all its glory. And this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a quick physical overview. On the back, this phone has a curved fiberglass, and beneath that it has a new crystal design with this green color which looks pretty cool. At the top it is a quad camera setup with two circles specifying the primary camera, that's a 48 megapixel camera. Beside that it is a single LED flash followed by a fingerprint scanner. At the bottom it has just the Realme branding. On the front you get that massive display with a dewdrop notch protected by a 2.5D curved glass. It also has a free screen guard pre-applied. Inside the notch it is a front facing camera, and above that it has the earpiece. At the bottom it is completely plain and the chin is quite small, smaller than most phones in this price segment. Now for the sides, on the right side it is a power button, and on the left side it is a SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. That's followed by the volume buttons. Now these buttons seems to be made of metal. They have a nice clicky feel to them, but they're not sufficiently elevated. At the top it is a secondary microphone for noise cancellation, and finally at the bottom it has a 3.5mm audio jack followed by primary microphone, USB Type-C charging port, and the mono speaker. By the way, this central frame seems to be made of metal, seems pretty sturdy and has a nice two-tone finish to it. Now this phone has a thickness of 8.9mm and weighs 184 grams. Initial impressions, phone definitely looks quite thick, but because of the 3D curve in hand it doesn't feel all that thick. And when it comes to weight is definitely noticeable. It is kinda heavy, but weight distribution seems to be okay. By the way guys, these are the SAR values. Now this is how the phone looks with the free case on. It has a slightly raised lip for the camera module, which is almost negligible. When you place the phone directly on its back, camera module is almost exposed to the surface. And even on the front, it has a raised lip. It can protect the display when you place your phone directly on its face, but the finishing isn't that good. Even with the case on, buttons are nice and clickable. Overall, you can use this case for a few days, get a better case. Now these are the complete specifications. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary camera with Sony IMX586 sensor with f1.79 aperture. That's followed by an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f2.25 aperture and 119 degree field of view. It even has double lens distortion correction technology, which is supposed to take better wide-angle pictures. That's followed by a 2 megapixel camera to take portrait shots, and finally, another 2 megapixel camera to take macro shots up to as close as 4 centimeters. For selfies, it has a 16 megapixel camera with Sony IMX471 sensor with f2.0 aperture. On the front, it is a 6.3-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution with dewdrop notch and 19.5:9 aspect ratio. Because of the smaller bezels, this display has a peak brightness of 450 nits and also comes with Corning Gorilla Glass for additional protection. When it comes to performance, this phone sports a Snapdragon 712 processor with Adreno 616 GPU, with LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.1 storage. Right out of the box, this phone will be running ColorOS 6.0 based on Android 9.0, that's Android Pie. Finally powering this device is a 4000 mAh battery that supports Whoop Fast Charge 3.0 with a maximum output of 20 watts. So guys, those were the specifications. Now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. Yep, I am out of battery. I'll charge it and come back to you in a minute. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. This is the default launcher, that's from Realme. And this phone also has an app drawer. You can just swipe up to check out all the apps that are installed on your phone. And as you can see, there is quite a bit of bloatware. So if there is any application that you don't use on this phone, especially third-party applications, say like Facebook, Opera or Paytm, just uninstall them as soon as possible. Now let's check out the free RAM. So out of that 4GB of RAM, we get about 1.84GB of RAM free out of the box. Now let's check the storage information. This phone has 64GB of storage, that's the base variant. And out of that 64GB of storage, we get about 51.5GB of space for our user apps and user data. Now let's check the about page. This phone is running ColorOS version 6.0 based on Android 9, that's Android Pie. And right out of the box, it has a June security patch. It should be getting August or September security patch pretty soon. By the way, I've just turned on the Wi-Fi, so I might receive the update in a matter of few minutes. Now let's check out the camera interface. Now cameras on this phone have been and always will be one of the most highlighting features. So this is the interface for the rear camera. It looks boringly similar to all the previous Oppo and Realme phones. We have a toggle over here to quickly zoom in. This is just digital zoom, not optical zoom. So it's just like taking a picture and zooming in. By the way, we can also do the pinch to zoom gesture and it works really well. Now this is the primary camera, and if you want to use the wide angle camera, you have a toggle over here. And now this is the wide angle camera, and as you can see, it is super wide. Next we have Chroma Boost mode, which simply enhances the colors. So you can give that a try as well. Now on the right side, we have the regular portrait mode. These are some sample pictures. Next we have video recording. Now on this phone, we can record video up to a maximum of 4K resolution. And if you select 4K, we can't change the frame rate. At 4K resolution, we can only record video at 30 FPS. If you select 1080p, you can switch to 60 FPS as well. Now if you click this button over here, it gives you some extra options. These are just some filters. Besides these three modes, we also have some extra modes hidden over here. Just click that to see all the modes. First we have Ultra 48 megapixel mode. Even though this phone has a 48 megapixel camera, by default it takes 12 megapixel pictures using a technology called pixel binning. For some reason, if you want to take a bigger 48 megapixel picture, you can use this mode. Here's a quick sample. And now this is completely zoomed in. Next we have Nightscape, which is supposed to take better pictures in low lighting conditions. Next we have the regular panorama mode, expert mode, that's pro mode by the way. Next we have time-lapse slow motion. Let's check out the frame rate. In slow motion video recording, we can record video at 120 fps, 240 fps and even at 960 fps, which is a rare feature to see in this price segment. Finally, we have the ultra macro mode, which allows us to take macro shots. Now these are some sample pictures. Now these are some pictures taken with all the three cameras. Well, the primary camera, wide angle lens and even the macro shot. Now this is the interface for the front camera, and initial impressions, front camera seems to be really good. Now on the right side we have the regular portrait mode, and if you go to the left side we have video recording. Now with the front camera we can only record video at a maximum of 1080p, and if you click this button over here we get some extra options. First we have panorama mode. So if you want to take a wider selfie, just click it and twist your phone left and right to take a wide angle selfie. Next we also have time lapse for the front camera. I don't know why you want to use that, but we do get that option. Now these are some sample pictures. So guys, now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up and here we go. Guys, fingerprint scanner is super fast, and unlike most phones, it is also easily traceable. So here we go, that is the fingerprint scanner. Now let's test face unlock feature. I've already set it up once again, and even face unlock feature is super fast, just like all other Oppo and Realme phones. It's just insanely fast. I can see the lock screen probably for a split second. Now let's test it in low lighting conditions. So even in low lighting conditions it works, and it is pretty fast. It's definitely usable. Now let's test it in complete darkness. Even in complete darkness, surprisingly it works. It is kinda slow, it probably takes like a second, but it's still pretty good and usable. So guys, that was the face unlock feature. Now let's test the speaker loudness. And that's super loud.
Caught up inside your self-righteous. I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger.
Speakers on this phone are super loud, probably the loudest in the price segment. At maximum volume there is a bit of distortion, but if you can reduce it up to 80 or 90%, you will get pretty good audio. It's definitely more than sufficient for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now just in case if you have noticed, while watching videos on YouTube, you can do a pinch gesture to go full screen, and this one has a unique feature where you can swipe on the left side of the screen near the notch to get some extra options. Now this is the smart bar. These are your quick applications and these are your quick actions. Just click them to open them up. Now this phone also has some new gestures. To enable them, go to settings, then select convenience aid, select navigation keys and select the first option, swipe gesture from both sides. Now to go back, you can swipe from the left side or right side corner. Just do that and you can go back. Because of this case, it's not very convenient, but if you remove this case or get a better one, you can use this gesture pretty well. For home screen, you can swipe from the bottom. For recent apps, you can just swipe and hold. Personally, this is my favorite gesture, but because of this case, usually I prefer to use swipe up gestures. Now you can swipe from the right side or left side to go back a step, and swipe from the center to go home. Once again, swipe and hold from the center for recent tabs. So this is what works really well with the default case that you get inside the box. Now before I conclude, these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, this is the Realme 5 Pro. Now just like on the paper, it turned out to be a very good phone. It has great cameras, book charging is insanely fast, and performance is top notch. So at a price tag of 14,000 rupees, till now this has been a pretty good phone. Xiaomi has just launched the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and that phone is definitely better than this one in many ways. With that said, Realme might also drop price on this phone pretty aggressively by 1,000 or 2,000. So if you're looking for a phone under 15,000 rupees and 12 to 13k price segment, this is something you can definitely consider. I know it starts at 14,000 rupees, but Realme is gonna slash prices for it pretty soon. So guys, that's the Realme 5 Pro. What do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I am Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.